Hello guys and welcome back to Reading Club. Today I'm going to read you the 13-story treehouse, chapter 7, chapter 8, and chapter 9. Chapter 7, The Monster Mermaid. See what I mean? TV shows don't get much dumber than that. Okay, Terry, I said when it was finally over. Let's get back to work. But it's time for my second favorite show, said Terry. Buzzy the Buzzing Fly. Buzzy the Buzzing Fly. Buzz. Oh, no, it's not, I said, grabbing the remote and turning off the TV. Oh, yes, it is, said Terry, snatching the remote out of my hand and turning it back on. Actually, I think you'll find that it's not, I said, picking up the TV and throwing it out of the treehouse. It landed with a crash on the ground below. Terry shrugged. I guess you're right, he said. Hey, yelled the voice. That almost landed on my head. Oops. I peeped over the edge. It was Bill the postman. Sorry, Bill, I said. It was an accident. Oh, that's all right, said Bill, chuckling. Delivering mail to the 13-story treehouse is always an adventure. Is young Terry there? I've got a parcel for him. Special delivery. Yay, said Terry, sprinting for the ladder. I'll be right down. He returned a few minutes later with a package. My sea monkeys, he yelled as he opened it. They've arrived at last. Sea monkeys? I said. What do you want them for? We've already got a perfectly good tank full of man-eating sharks. But sea monkeys are much better than man-eating sharks, said Terry. Sea monkeys have 3 eyes, they breathe through their feet, and they build vast underwater kingdoms. Sharks can't do any of that. Sharks don't even have feet. I'm going to make my sea monkeys come alive right now. Doing tricks. Sea monkey castle. 3 eyes, breathing through the feet. Sorry. Not so fast, I said. We've got a book to write, remember? I know, said Terry, and I promise I'll get to work right after I've hatched the sea monkeys. They come to life instantly. All I have to do is add water. Please, please, please. Okay, I said, but hurry. Sure thing, said Terry, rushing to the elevator. I'll be right back. I waited for a long time. Then a really long time. And then a really, really long time. But he didn't come back. Eventually, I found him down in the secret underground laboratory. What are you doing? I said. I thought you were supposed to be adding water to the eggs. I am, said Terry. I just finished making the apparatus that will help me measure the exact amount of water I need. Too much and the sea monkeys could drown. Too little and they could suffocate. But you said hatching eggs would be an instant, I said. And it will be, said Terry, just as soon as I add the water. Now stand back. He pushed the button, and the water dripped out of the machine. Drop by painfully slow drop by even more painfully slow drop. Finally, about 1,000 million trillion gazillion painful slow drops later, it was done. At last, I said, add the eggs quick and let's get back to work. Sure, said Terry, I just have to purify the water. How long will that take? I said. Terry looked at the packet. 24 hours. What? I said, but that's all day. Don't be silly, Ellie, Andy, said Terry, laughing. There aren't 24 hours in a day. Yes, there are, I shouted. And if you think I'm going to let you waste any more time on these stupid sea monkeys, then you're out of your tiny pea-brained, numbskull-sized mind. Brains, a simple guide. Large pea-sized brain. Large pea-sized brain. Terry. Sesame seed-sized brain. Bird. Grain of sand sized brain. Gant. size brain, tiny Andy. These drawings are not to scale. What's your language, Andy? Said Terry. There might be children reading. I don't care who is reading, I said. Put your sea monkey eggs in that water right now, or else I swear I'll shove that jar onto your head. And so hard it will be stuck on there for the rest of your life. How do you like that? Terry thought about it for a moment. What it would be like to live the rest of my life with the jar on my head. Brushing teeth. Eating dinner. Hairstyling. Stupid jar. Nose picking. Grr. You may kiss the bride. Wedding day. Haha. Old age. Old Terry. Stupid jar. Bedtime. Stupid jar. Very old Terry. The end. Old Andy crying. Stupid jar. Dead Terry. I don't think I'd like it at all, he said finally. I guess under the circumstances we can skip the water preferring step and add the eggs straight away. Great thinking, I said. Terry's hand was trembling as he poured the sea monkey eggs into the jar. He stirred it and held it up to the light. I've done it, he shouted. I'm a genius. I've created life. He was right. Not about being a genius, of course, but there was definitely a bunch of newly hatched sea monkeys bobbing around in the jar. Well, that's just great, I said. Now can we get back to our book? Not yet, said Terry. I have to feed them one level scoop of official sea monkey growth food. I groaned. Does that mean that now you have to build a one level scoop of official sea monkey growth food dispensing machine? No need for that. They come with their own official sea monkey growth food dispensing utensil, said Terry as he sprinkled sea monkey growth food from a plastic spoon into the top of the jar. The food triggered a feeding frenzy. Well, in one sea monkey, at least, it swam straight to it and sucked it up all before the others could get any. What a guts, said Terry. Better put some more in, I said. Terry measured out another spoonful and sprinkled it into the jar. Once again, the greedy sea monkey ate it all, and then it started to grow. Within seconds, it doubled its size and then doubled in size again. Then it swam around the jar and ate all the other sea monkeys. It grew bigger and bigger and bigger. It's getting too big for that. Jar, said Terry. Get a beaker, I said, a really big beaker. Terry darted away and returned with the biggest beaker we had. That ought to hold it, he said as he tipped the sea monkey from the jar into his new home. But the sea monkey kept right on growing. Soon it was too big for the beaker, so we tipped it into a bucket, but it quickly outgrew that as well. It's no use, said Terry. We need something even bigger. How about the bath, I said. I didn't know we had a bath, said Terry. Yeah, I said. I've been meaning to talk to you about that. It's in the bathroom. I didn't know we had a bathroom, said Terry. Just bring the bucket and follow me, I said. That is one weird-looking sea monkey, I said when we finally got into the bath. That's because I'm not a sea monkey, said the weird-looking sea monkey. I'm a mermaid. A mermaid, said Terry, looking like he was about to cry. But mermaids are for girls. I ordered sea monkeys. It's not my fault, said the mermaid. The eggs must have gotten mixed up at the factory. My name is Mermaida. What's yours? Terry, he said. That's a nice name for a merman, said Mermaida. I'm not a merman, said Terry. Oh, I thought you were, said Mermaida, gazing at Terry. You're certainly a good-looking enough to be one. Hello, I said. I'm Andy. Said Mermaida, not taking her eyes off Terry. I live here too, I said. Said Mermaida. Why don't you run along now, Sandy? Terry and I would like to be alone. Yes, said Terry dreamily. But what about our book? I said. When are we going to do that? But it was no use. Neither of them were listening to me. They were just gazing into each other's eyes. It was quite embarrassing, actually. I stepped out of the room and closed the door. The thing was, though, I could still hear what they were saying. "You're so sweet," said Mermaid. "I wish I could stay here with you." "But you can, can't you?" said Terry. "Alice, no," said Mermaid. "I can't live in a bathtub forever." "We got a swimming pool," said Terry. "It's see-through. You can live there." "But I need to live in the sea," said Mermaid. "It's where I belong." "Oh," said Terry sadly. "I know," said Mermaid. "Why don't you come to live with me? We could live in my 13-story sand castle under the sea." Fish outside of dream. Is it real or an illusion? Andy invading Terry's dream in a mini submarine. "That would be nice," said Terry, "but I'm not a merman. I can't breathe underwater." "There is a way, though," said Mermaid. "When a human and a mermaid get married, the human becomes a merman. And all we have to do to be married is kiss." Ugly. Kiss. I should have rushed in and broke it up right then and there, but I didn't want them to know I'd been listening. And besides, I was too late anyway. I shuddered as I heard the unmistakable sound of a human and a mermaid kissing. "Oh, darling," cooed Mermaid, "I'm so happy. Let's leave right away." "Okay," said Terry. "I've just got to say goodbye to Andy." "All right, but hurry," sighed Mermaid impatiently. "I don't know how much longer I can last in this bathwater." I quickly hid as Terry came out of the bathroom. He climbed down the ladder and started looking for me. "Andy, call, I need to talk to you." I was about to go down and join him when I heard a strange gurgling sound coming from the bathroom. It sounded like Mermaid was choking, and even though I didn't especially like her, I thought I should still see if she was all right. But as I entered the bathroom, I caught a sight of her reflection in the mirror, and what I saw was definitely not all right. In fact, it was definitely all wrong, all very, very wrong. Mermaid wasn't Mermaid anymore. She was a sea monster. How could I be so sure that she was a sea monster? Well, for a start, there was her slimy sea monstery skin, and her slimy sea monstery tentacles, and her slimy sea monstery stench. But above all, I think it was the fact that she was saying, "Bathroom mirror on the wall. Who's the sneakiest sea monster of all?" That really clinched it for me. You know when you say something so horrible that you want to look away but you can't? Well, this was so horrible that I had to get out of my flip camera and record it. "Bathroom mirror on the wall. Who's the sneakiest sea monster on the wall of the all? The human does not suspect a thing. He's such a stupid ding-a-ling. He thinks that you will live with me in a palace of sand beneath the sea. He does not know this will not be. Instead, he will be dinner for me. I'll lower him down beneath the water, and then his body I will slaughter. Oh, how I'll enjoy devouring him. I'll tear him apart, limb from limb. I'll eat his eyes and ears and nose, and suck the marrow from his toes. I'll crush his puny, pea-brained head, and grind his bones to make my bread. My trap is set, my plans are laid. All I must do is keep up the trade. Who, me, a sea monster? Your brain needs first aid. I'm a lovely, innocent, sweet mermaid. And with that, the monster became Mermaid again and climbed back into the bathtub. I stopped recording and rushed off to find Terry. He was down in the kitchen. The marshmallow dispenser was shooting marshmallows into his mouth just as fast as he could swallow them. "Guess what, Andy?" he mumbled with his mouth full. Let me see. You and Mermaid got married and you're off to live in an underwater 13-story sandcastle." Terry was amazed. "How did you know?" "I heard the whole thing," I said, "and that's not all I heard. After you left, I discovered that Mermaid isn't a mermaid at all. She's a sea monster." "That's a lie," said Terry. "You're just jealous." "No, I'm not," I said. "Look at this." I pressed play on my camera and handed it to him. too much sugar. Yikes, said Terry. What am I going to do? Well, for a start, I said, I think you should definitely break up with her. And pretty soon, too. Of course I will, said Terry, but what if she tries to eat me? Calm down, I said. I was just joking. For the moment, there's no need to do anything. She doesn't know that you know that she's a sea monster. Oh, yes, I do, said a hideous gurgling voice behind us. We turned to see Mermaida sliming her way across the kitchen toward us. Go away, said Terry, trying to hide behind me. But we're married, my darling, she said, extending her horrible face toward Terry. Don't kiss me, he pleaded, his eyes wide in alarm. I'm not going to kiss you, she said. I'm going to eat you and your eavesdropping friend. But I didn't mean to eavesdrop, I said. Can't you just let me off with a warning or a small fine or something? I suppose I could, said Mermaida. It's just that I'm so very hungry. Being cooped up in a sea monkey packet for so long gives one such an appetite. He backed away from Mermaida until we were pressed up against the elevator doors. I felt around behind me, desperately trying to find the button to open the door as she slammed closer and closer. Finally, I found it. The door slid open when we tumbled backwards into the elevator. Mermaida roared as the doors slid shut. Phew, said Terry. I'm glad that's over. Are you kidding? I said as we descended towards the laboratory. That was only round 1, so what are we going to do now? Well, I said, this might be a dumb question, but can the banana enlarger work in reverse? You mean a banana shrinker, said Terry. Sure, it's simply a matter of reversing the polarity. But how are shrunken bananas gonna help us fight a sea monster? They're not, I explained as the elevator doors opened into the lab. We're going to shrink it. But you're gonna have to work fast. Your wife will be here any second. Don't remind me, said Terry, making a dash for the enlarger. I listened as the elevator rose through the trunk back to the main level. Mermaida had obviously summoned it and would be here any moment. One sea monster shrinker ready for action, said Terry. Just in time, I said. I stood as close to the elevator as I dared. The doors slid open and Mermaida oozed into the room. Ah, there you are, she gurgled. I can't believe you really thought you were going to get away from me. You humans are so stupid. And you're nothing but an overgrown sea monkey, I taunted as I backed across the lab towards the shrinker, hoping she would follow. I am not a sea monkey, she shrieked as she slammed her way toward me. I'm a sea monster, and just for that I'm going to eat you first. Oh, no, you're not, I said. Oh, yes, I am, she said as she touched the tip of my nose with one of her stinking black tentacles. No, you're really not, I shouted, jumping clear. Now, Terry! Terry fired up the shrinker and blasted her with the ray. Mermaida screamed in rage as she began to shrink before our eyes. I'm shrinking! She screamed as she grew smaller and smaller. I'm shrinking! 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 Soon she was no larger and no more dangerous than a jelly bean. She lay on the floor between us, ranting in a tiny, high voice. She was the worst sea monkey ever, said Terry. I've got a good mind to send her back to the factory. We're going to send her back, all right, I said, but not to the factory. Back to the sea where she belongs. In fact, I'm going to do it right now, unless you'd prefer to. No, I don't think I can, said Terry. Fine, I said. I picked her up with a pair of tweezers, dropped her into the toilet, and pushed full flush twice. I wasn't taking any chances. When I came out, Terry was whipping away a tear. I can only guess how sad you must feel, I said, putting my arm around him. But try to look on the bright side. What bright side? Now we can get on with our book. Chapter 8, The Big Bubble. We took the elevator up to the main deck and sat down at the table. Okay, I said, where were we up to? Oh, that's right. Once upon a time. Now let me see. Once upon a time there was, help me out here, Terry. Once upon a time there was, what? Oh, whatever, said Terry. I don't care. I can't work. I'm too sad. And a mermaid was a sea monster, but I really liked her when she was a mermaid. Gloom. How about a marshmallow? I said. Would that help? I'll call the machine over. Nah, said Terry. I'm tired of marshmallows. Maybe you just need a change, I said. How about some popcorn? Terry shrugged. We can pop it with the lid off, I said. Terry shrugged again. Okay. I filled the popcorn maker up and turned it on. We waited and waited and waited. And just when we thought it was never going to pop, suddenly it did. Pop, 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 pop. We ran around and caught as much of it in our mouths as we could until we couldn't eat anymore. That was a great idea, Andy, said Terry, but now I'm really thirsty. Some lemonade will fix that, I said. I'll start the fountain. Did I mention that we have a lemonade fountain? Well, we do. It's just like a regular fountain, but instead of water, it has lemonade. Any flavor you want, as long as it's red, orange, lemon, cola, or tutti frutti, which is all the flavors mixed together. We sat in the lemonade fountain for a long time. And when I say a long time, I mean probably a lot longer than we really should have. Burp. Oops, excuse me, said Terry, covering his mouth with his hand. Before I could excuse him, I burped even louder. Burp. No, excuse me, I said. Terry burped again, even louder this time. Well, you certainly sound like you're feeling better, I said. Much better, said Terry. All I need now is some bubble gum. He climbed out of the lemonade fountain, went over to the bubblegum dispenser, wheeled off a long strip, and shoved it all into his mouth. That's good, Terry mumbled as he chewed. Hey, I got a great idea. Andy, watch this. Terry chewed and burped. Burp. He burped and chewed. Burp. And blew and burped. Burp, burp, burp. Burp, burp. And burped and blew. Burp, 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 burp. Until he had blown the biggest bubble I had ever seen. The bubble was so big that I could even see Terry anymore. That's enough, I said. It's getting too big. But Terry couldn't hear me. And the reason for that was because the bubble had become so big that it had completely surrounded him. He was inside his own burp gas-filled bubble gum bubble. Hey, this is really fun, said Terry as he floated around in the bubble. Be careful, I said. What could possibly go wrong, he said. And then he began to float higher and higher up into the air. Help, he cried. Don't worry, I called to him as he floated up and away from the treehouse. I'll save you. Burp, 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 burp. Burp, 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 burp. I took a running jump at the closest vine and swung out as far as I could to try to catch the bubble. It was a good swing, but not quite good enough. My hand closed on thin air, and Terry continued to float away, higher and higher into the sky. There was only one thing to do. I grabbed my golf club and raced up to the observation deck. I figured now would be a great time to work on my golf swing and, of course, to try to pop Terry's bubble at the same time. I gave it my best shot, but I didn't have any luck on my first attempt. Thwack. Or on my second. Thwick. Or even on my third. Thunk, thunk. But my fourth attempt was a bullseye. The bubble burst, which is both good and bad. Good because Terry was no longer trapped in a bubble full of burp gas, but bad because now he was plummeting toward the ground without a parachute or even a crash helmet. Burp. Luckily, however, the marshmallow machine seemed to know just what to do. It began firing marshmallows at the supersonic speed, and within moments there was a giant pillow of marshmallows on the ground directly below Terry. He landed right in the middle and bounced many times before finally coming to rest. It looked kind of fun. Well, a lot of fun, actually. I helped Terry out of the marshmallow pile and dusted him off. That was the best fun ever, he said with a big fun. You should try it. I would, I said, but we got a book to write, remember? Oh, yeah, said Terry. I forgot. We rode the elevator back up to the main deck. This was really it. No more distractions, no more excuses. No more flying cats, giant banana attacks, barking dogs, pretended mermaids, evil sea monsters, popcorn parties, lemonade guzzling, barbed gas-filled bubblegum bubbles, or marshmallow trampolines. We were just going to do our book. We sat down at the table. So, what are we going to do? I said. Once upon a time, I think, said Terry. Oh, very funny, I said. Now let me see. Once upon a time there was a, what? Finger, said Terry. Finger? I said. Yes, said Terry. Why don't we put your beginnings and my drawings together? You know, like once upon a time there was a finger, but let's not make it an ordinary finger. Let's make it a super finger, like this. That's crazy, I said. Oh, said Terry, looking disappointed. So crazy, it might just work, I added. Then what are we waiting for, said Terry, beaming. Let's do it. So there we were, me writing, Terry drawing. It was turning out pretty good too, as you can see. Chapter 9, The Adventure of Superfinger. Once upon a time, there was a finger. But it wasn't no ordinary finger. It was a super finger. Superfinger is my name. Solving problems requiring finger-based solutions is my game. What's in the sky? Is it a rude finger? Is it a thumb? No, it's a super finger. Superfinger helped the helpless. Dart, I'll never get this package tied. If only I had an extra finger. I'll help you solve this knotted problem. Thanks, Superfinger. Superfinger helped the lost. It's no use. We'll never find our way out. We're too lost. The exit is this way. Thanks for pointing us in the right direction, Superfinger. Superfinger even helped those whose nostrils were blocked. If only my finger were a bit longer, I would be able to get this annoying obstruction out of my nose. Yum. Don't worry, I'll help you. I'll have you to breathing freely in no time. Thanks, Superfinger. Everybody loved Superfinger, world's favorite superhero awards. Spellin' Boy. Spellin' Boy. Pinky, Superfinger's faithful sidekick. We love you, Superfinger. We love you too, Pinky. One day, Superfinger was out looking for new problems requiring finger-based solutions when he heard an outdoor rock concert. That's a pretty loud concert. I'd better go down and see if someone needs their ears blocked. Flying in for a closer look, Superfinger could see that on stage was his favorite guitarist, Jimi Hendrix. Oh, great! I love Jimi Hendrix. His hands have got the superest fingers of all. But as he watched, Superfinger noticed that Jimmy was in trouble. He'd started a guitar solo that was so epic he didn't have enough fingers to play it. If only I had an extra finger, I could really kick this epic guitar solo into overdrive. This looks like a job for Superfinger. Superfinger flew onto the stage and launched himself headfirst at the fretboard of Jimmy's guitar. There you go, Jimmy. I think these are the notes you were searching for. There's Superfinger. Here's an honor to play with you. The crowd went wild. Go, Jimmy! Go, Superfinger! Superfinger and Jimmy ended up jamming for the rest of the day and well into the night, and everybody agreed it was the best concert ever in the history of the entire world. You rock, Superfinger! So do you, Jimmy. You too, Pinky. Superfinger's faithful sidekick, Pinky, and Tambourine. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. Read it.